We look forward to spending some time with our friend Dennis Horton. He's the director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau, and he is loaded with some great information. Save you time, money, headache, you name it. That's what the BBB does. Dennis, good morning.
Good morning, Riley.
How are you?
I'm really good. It is cold, but nice and sunny, so it makes the day feel better.
It does. You know, it's one of those, you turn the heat up enough in the room that you're in looking outside, it doesn't seem all that awful.
Well, tell Dwayne that because he likes it cold.
That Dwayne, he's always a little elbow in the ribs when it comes to this kind of thing, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
All
yeah,
right.
I couldn't do it without him.
No, Dwayne is a very valuable member. Well, you guys all are. The Better Business Bureau always doing great work. Tell me what form jacking is.
I was, there are times when your mouth sort of drops open and says, wow, there's a new one. And this one is a new one. Form jacking is, we all fill out forms online, and we will probably continue to fill out forms online.
Yeah.
And scammers have figured this out. And now hackers inject code into forms on legitimate websites that causes the page to release to the crooks the confidential information that you have just input. This really has come about because we've gotten kind of wise to the skimming, and we're paying attention to those things at ATMs and gas pumps. So the hackers are sitting back, and the scammers are saying, what can we do next? How are we going to make our money? And form jacking is that method. The numbers are staggering. According to Symantec, which is a tech company, almost 5,000 sites are form jacked every month.
Wow.
And the numbers are really bad. It's like 3.7 million form jacking attacks since 2018. And the most insidious thing is that we don't know what's happening. And the companies don't know what's happening. We don't find out about it until the stolen card details or your personal information is starting to be used. And even then, the business sites may not be aware of it. It's one of those scary things, but it's one more scam, one more thing that we have to be alert for.
Yeah, so you're at you pick your website, you got to fill out this little form for it, and everything seems on the up and up, and it's a secured site, and you're filling all that out, but lo and behold, somebody's dropped some code into it that the minute you're done and you hit send, it sends to two places.
Exactly, and it works so well that your transaction goes through without a hitch. So you don't know that there's anything wrong. And until people inform the businesses that something is going on, they don't know that there's anything wrong.
So what does one do to combat this? I mean, this one seems like we're kind of defenseless against it.
It's almost, we have to wait till the horse is out of the barn to know that something is wrong. So this is another reason why we do need to make sure that we are checking our credit card statements every month, that we are also checking our credit reports to see if there's some unauthorized activity, that there are no new accounts opened in your name and things like that.
So this requires, on your end, a proactive response in that keep checking all of those different venues to make sure that nobody has all of a sudden clipped themselves aboard yours. And if you don't, you're not going to know about it until something bad happens.
Yes, we've been preaching for years, that we have to be proactive, and our best line of defense is a good defense. So we have to make sure that we are on top of it. It's a lot of work, but when you think about it, a few minutes a month to make sure you get that done is worth a whole lot more than several hours, weeks, maybe years to fix a problem that is created by being a victim of form jacking.
So unlike some of the other forms where people are getting a hold of your information, this one doesn't have any real telltale signs to it. There's some, like with phishing, and respond to this email, call the number on this email, send your response right back in a reply. Don't we know not to do that? We know to call the company ahead of time. Don't respond. But this one doesn't give you any idea whatsoever that something's wrong.
That's right. There's no one trying to entice you to do something. You are just going about your daily tasks in ordering something online, and then find out that the form has been hacked and that your information has been compromised.
All right, let's make sure we keep an eye on all of these things so it doesn't come back to bite you later on. That's called form jacking. Remember that name? I get the idea that we're going to hear a lot more about that one as the future gets closer. What's the micro...
And without making people set their hair on fire, if you really are concerned, you can make sure that you are put a freeze on, or making sure when you are checking your credit report, you don't want to freeze it, but add an alert to your credit report so that if anything does happen, you are notified in short order.
That's a great idea. Now, what's the Microsoft scam that you guys are looking at?
Well, Microsoft announced that it was going to discontinue technical support for its Windows 7 operating system.
Right.
And in doing that, the scammers are said, whoa, here's a new opportunity. So along with the regular Microsoft call, you have a virus on your computer, let me in and we'll fix it. Now they're using that as the entree to get people to allow them access to their computers so that they can download a virus or malware onto your systems. And what we are getting are lots of people who have notified us that they're getting those kinds of calls from scammers saying, let us help you upgrade your Windows 7 to Windows 10. Microsoft is not calling to offer you this service. They will do it for free, but you have to instigate the first initial contact. So if anyone calls you and says they're from Microsoft and they're here to help you with their upgrading your Windows 7 to Windows 10, it's a scam.
Which I've been on the receiving end of. Got a call a couple of days ago and it was left on voicemail, but a robotic-sounding woman let me know that my Windows 7 was expiring and I needed to enter the new codes, and they just needed to talk to me for a couple of minutes to make sure my system made a seamless switchover to the new operating system, and just a couple of bits of information, we'd be good to go.
Well, you just described exactly how the scam works.
And here's how it should work on your end. Do what I did. Delete. I just went ahead and hit delete because, number one, I'm already upgraded, and that was in the rearview mirror a long time ago. So I suppose if I hadn't, it might have been one of those, oh, yeah, maybe they are. But no, I'd already done that. So they were just hoping that I'd agree to give them some information.
Right. And when we understand that many of us are not all that computer savvy, and you may not know what all this upgrading means, then someone calls and says, here, let me help you, you might be willing to do that. Well, as you said, don't.
No, hit delete on it because, all they wanted me to do was give them a call back and just give them some information. They would get into my system for me, and they'd get it all fixed, and I would be so happy with the result. Right,
and we've been getting calls for years from people who have allowed access to their computers. Listeners, please never allow someone who calls you remote access to your computer. You have no idea who they are and no idea what they're actually doing.
And my wife accidentally did do that one time. I'm hoping she's not paying attention to the radio right now. But that mistake was made one time, and that proved to be a little on the expensive side to undo.
Right. Just so people know, I hope it didn't cost you $400, but in some cases it's right around $435.
I was going to say we were in the mid 300s to get it fixed.
Yeah, so it's a costly mistake, and right now just be aware that those calls and voicemails and even emails are coming.
All right, pay attention to that one. And finally, the Do Not Call registry. What's going on with them?
Well, Riley, this is actually a personal rant of mine. I have for years now been hearing, and people say, that Do Not Call registry doesn't work.
Right.
And it really set me off last Thursday when a young TV reporter came into the office to talk about robocalls. And he began the interview with, well, as we all know, the Do Not Call registry doesn't work. And I had to say, stop. No, that's not true. The Do Not Call registry does work, everybody. It works. It keeps legitimate companies on the up and up. Legitimate companies pay attention to the do not call list. They don't solicit people who are on the list. It's the scammers, the crooks who continue to violate the limits of the do not call registry. And those are the people, the robocalls are the ones that are getting through. It isn't the do not call registry isn't working. It is working. It's that the crooks are crooks and they break laws. So please stop saying that it doesn't work. It does work. It isn't perfect, and you are allowed certain businesses, political ads, charitable contributions, those sorts of calls can still be made. But legitimate companies are paying attention to the limits that are placed on them by the do not call registry. And for Pete's sake, folks, when you go to home shows and expos and bazaars or wherever you're going with a fistful of those free address labels, stop sticking them into bins to win that trip to Acapulco and then get angry when you get a phone call that doesn't say you're a winner, but do you want to buy?
Right.
It's not the call. It's not the fault of the do not call registry. That's your fault.
Yeah, because by entering that, you told them it's okay to call you for one. And there's a lot of other times you get a call and go, I can't believe the do not call registry didn't work. Oh, wait, I did business with them in the past. And that's a loophole. They can then call you in the future.
If you have done business with someone in the last 6 months, they can call you. So keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
the do not call registry does not work. It does work.
If everybody were good and law-abiding, the do not call registry would have worked perfectly. But that's like saying that why do we even have laws in this country? They don't work. We got a law against murder. People are still killing each other. Well, yeah, the bad people are doing it. The people who don't agree to follow rules are the ones who are breaking this, not the overall.
That's exactly right. That's my rant I should say my first rant for 2020.
Well, and given your background, I would hate to be the foolish reporter who came in and made that kind of mistake. They don't realize news director is part of that background.
Well, I try to be nice.
I understand, and I'm sure that you were, and hopefully a mistake has been corrected. So, yeah, don't blame the registry. Blame the criminals on this one. Be aware of the Microsoft scam and form jacking. Just another little bit of fun that we'll learn how to fight down the line. Dennis, as always, thanks for the wealth of information. For people who want to make contact and have a question or a concern, how do they get in touch with you?
You can give us a call here at 815-963-2222.
Outstanding. We'll look forward to our next get-together.
You have a great week, Riley.
You too. There's Dennis Horton. He's the director of the Rockford Regional Office of the Better Business Bureau.